when I saw this, I will speak about myself, but for each person that practices in this way, the same knowing arises. When I saw this, then I was free from convention, I was free from samuti. When I saw this, it was as if, up till then, I had been carrying a weight of 100 kilograms, and when I knew this, it was as if 80 kilograms were discarded immediately. Everyone that knows this, it will be as if at least 60 kilograms is discarded. For me, speaking for myself, it was as if 80 kilograms was discarded. And I knew my experience, I knew experiencing free of suffering, free of dukkha. I knew feeling without dukkha, and I knew memory, sanya, without dukkha. And I knew the action of the mind, the concocting action of the mind, sankhara, without dukkha. And I knew consciousness, vijnana, without dukkha, without suffering. Vijnana just means panya. When there is no suffering, it is panya, it is wisdom or knowing. And I have been free of suffering from that day until this. When I knew that, then I knew what it meant to be venerable, what it means to be a monk, to be a Buddha. So at that time, I understood divine eye and divine ear. Divine eye and divine ear are not the kind of mystical powers that they are normally understood and explained as being. That if we have divine ear, then sitting here we can listen to somebody speaking in a very great distance away, and having divine eye we can see what is happening somewhere else, and we can see the future, we can know lottery numbers and so on. But I understood divine eye and divine ear when I knew this characteristic of the end of suffering, when I knew feeling, memory, intention and consciousness free of suffering. When I knew these four aggregates free of suffering, then I understood what it was, what is meant by the term deity, God. This thing is deity, the mind of each person, which is Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. These four aggregates are what is meant by deity. Not the five aggregates. Rupa, the fifth aggregate, is the body, and the body has nothing to do with this. This is simply the mind itself. The mind itself is a deity. And when we can see the mind, when it thinks, and whatever movement it does, we can see that mind, then that is called to have divine eye. And it is something that an ordinary person doesn't have. The ordinary person does not see their mind, and they do not have the divine eye. Divine ear means that when we listen to somebody talking Dharma, we know if it is true or not. We know if what they are saying is really Dharma or is not Dharma. And this is to have divine ear. At that time, after I had this, when I had this first knowledge arise and I knew Nama Rupa, there were many things that I knew, but I will only talk about things that are necessary. So I continued my practice. I walked backwards and forwards, and not long afterwards I had knowledge arise, understanding arise for the second time. And when this second knowledge arose, then I knew kilesa, I knew tanha, I knew upadana, and I knew kamma. Kilesa, defilement, is that which is sticky. It is stickiness, the stickiest there is. It is sticking to the world. When we are stuck to the world, that is kilesa. Tanha means wanting, it means desiring. Upadana means attachment. And kamma, action, constitutes dukkha because of these three things. But when we understand these three things, when we understand kilesa, tanha and upadana, then action, kamma, constitutes non-suffering. It constitutes suffering when we do not know, we do not see these three things. When we practice in the correct way, then this knowledge will really arise. So after this second knowledge, I continued to practice, but I was tired, I felt weary, so I went to sleep. I slept not a long time. I am somebody that does not sleep a lot. This is called to sleep little, to eat little, to talk little. And after 2 or 3 hours I awoke, I arose, and I continued my practice. And knowledge arose, knowledge occurred for the third time. After I was practicing, I was using illumination from oily wax, and as I walked backwards and forwards, I saw a centipede. I went looking for the centipede because I was afraid it would bite me, but I could not find it, so I came back and continued to practice. And as I practiced, normality of body, normality of speech, and normality of mind arose in me, and I understood sila, I understood ethics, or morality, or normality.